Well, I guess I'm live. Can't figure out. I have to do the portrait view. I thought I could do the landscape view. Anyway, what's up, guys? Um, it's Saturday, so I'll do a live now. I was actually kind of hoping that I could kind of have a live with somebody. So if somebody wants to get on, I don't know if I at this point if I can add anybody. What's up, Walter? Hope you're doing good, bro. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm not prepared. What's this? What's this button? Nope, that ain't it. Start a poll. Damn, I guess I don't know if I can add anybody on. Let's see. I'm gonna keep trying here for a quick second. So what's new, Walter? Copy link. Oh no. What's that? Pushing out estimates today. It's been a while. I know, dude. I don't know if you saw my last live, but um, I basically explained why I couldn't talk. I had the owners of this building super pissed off at me, and I didn't want to make it even worse for them. And there's a lot going on. I think if you listen to the last live, you can see what I was talking about. But basically, I own this shop now. I own the property, buddy. I bought this place, dude. It feels so good. It feels like I definitely look at this property differently when I park in the morning. It's like it's freaking. It's a good feeling, man. It's a great feeling. But yeah, I try to keep it short, and then next thing you know, it's like an hour and 45 minutes on that last video. So what's new? But hell yeah, dude. Trying to do good things. Trying to build this thing still. Sorry, I'm trying to see if I can, if I had to add somebody, how I would do it. But I guess I can't unless I had the link. I wonder if I could do it online. Yeah, I guess it's been so long, I can't even remember how to do this freaking lives now. But yeah, audio's good. Thanks, Walter. Appreciate that. Um, let's see. So other than that, I mean, just rocking this year. We're getting into snow season. So I've got my trucks getting prepped for that. Got all the plows maintenance. I think at least the big stuff like the plows that needed new blades. They got new blades. We were on it pretty early this year. Um, I don't know if we put every plow in every truck just to kind of make sure everything's good that way. But all the plows were plugged into one truck and moved. And then we did the V plow movements and stuff and make sure we grease things. We're definitely we have a ton of commercial properties this year. I don't say a ton. I mean, we have 30. For me, that's a lot. Um, I think I saw you on some snow in Utah. Yeah, we had a little bit of snow. There's some areas in just north of us that snows a lot. It's pretty high elevation there. It snows a lot, and so but we did that snow removal in that area last year, and it was so hard that basically we had to change the price for that city only, just for that city, quite a bit. So it's pretty expensive, but that's what we need to do it. it takes a lot of people to work there, and once you're in that city, you pretty much can't leave. So that puts a lot of pressure on the other workers in their routes. So it's kind of hard, and you need a V plow up there um, for driveways. It gets so thick, it's crazy. So with a new price increase for that city, we've sent a blast out, and it's nobody wants to do it. It's too high of a price, but that's what we need. I mean, it snows there when it doesn't even snow anywhere else in this area in the whole county, but it'll snow in there, and we won't know unless we send somebody there in the morning. It's just a lot of work, but so nobody's signed up, and I don't think anybody will. But at this point, with that new price, um, but it's all good. We still going into Salt Lake? Yeah, yeah, we are. Um, we're just not doing snow removal in Salt Lake County. So, part of that whole new city, it's like right at the beginning of Salt Lake County, and we're just not going to go past that unless it's like one of our commercial accounts that we already maintain. So we have some restaurants out there. So we have got some Taco Bells, we've got Arby's. We also have like a couple of office buildings, some big office buildings that we do, and we're fine doing those. Even though it's in Salt Lake County, it's still kind of like in the valley, so it's not high elevation, so it's not that bad. I finally got a snowplow. We're excited. I had 8 acre parking lot last season. Nice. Does this snow a lot? Um, Oklahoma? Does it snow a lot there? For some reason in my mind, I feel like it's just always. I know it's not always hot year round. I can imagine that, but I just imagine it. I just for some reason I don't imagine it snowing very much. Does it? I mean, um, maybe it snows a ton. I don't know. Sorry, man. I'm not familiar with that area with snow. But yeah, we're kind of going big with snow this year, man. We've got 30 commercials, and at this point, I think we have almost 40 residentials. And I looked at my last year's numbers for November, and we usually get another 10 residentials this time. So we could be looking at about 50 residentials, 30 commercials. So far, with just the commercials, we're at about 12K per storm, which is great, but I was really hoping to get 20. I was hoping for 20. So I'm hoping that like the first couple of storms that we go out, we see that we can handle more. I'm hoping. Then we'll take more commercials. But as of right now, we stopped taking any commercial accounts. So we just want to make sure that our big accounts are taken care of. We have some big accounts that are about 200,000, that pay us about 200,000. So we want to make sure that those guys are taken care of. We're going to get paid through the winter with them if it snows. I don't have any contracts as far as like if it snows or if it doesn't, we'll still get paid. We don't do that. I would, just companies don't do that in this area. Um, and I think if the companies were big enough, like if we had a company that had a bunch of franchises and they saw that we were reliable, they would probably do it. But I don't think we have a track record with those kind of companies yet. So I think if we have a good year this year and do a good job, I think next year we can get a couple to re-sign that way. But getting paid when it snows is fine with me, like totally fine. Um, we get about 2 snowstorms, 2 to 3 ice storms. I'm in the northeast corner, lots of trees. Okay. Yeah, that's crazy. 2 snowstorms, and you need a plow. Like you feel like you need to get a plow. That's cool. Um, you'll probably be one of the only people they call. I mean, I'm sure you're not going to be the only one, but I bet you it's really limited on who they can call. So that's always a good thing. That could get you some good customers, I'm sure. You're killing it in the snow. I know you were making a lot of changes. Glad it's working out. Um, do y'all do winter landscapes? We started to do automatic enrollment for it with optional opt out. We have about 60% of customers staying on in the winter for that service. I'm not sure what winter landscapes is, bro. I wish I can get you on here. Like, it'd be cool if we could do a kind of like an interview style podcast or something. But I think I have to. I think I have to like stop the video and do it again. I think. I wish it was easy to do that, because I know I've done it before, but I can't figure out how to do it. Oh, live chat. Okay. I know that before I had a link. I don't know if I still have a link though. No. Sorry, I'm trying to figure this out. Yeah, I think what I'd have to do is start a new live. And damn it, that'd be kind of cool though. Yeah, I can't figure it out. I don't think I can unless I stop and start over. We can always schedule something next visit. I'll be off soon because I have an HOA to look at and 2 meetings with homeowners. Yeah, sounds good, man. Go to channel. Add a moderator. No, that's not it. All right, well, okay. I don't know how to do it. So what else is new? I've got so we started doing installs, sprinkler installs, and full lawn installs, which we've always kind of done that, but we've never actually done the sprinkler installs with it. So that was kind of interesting for us because for us it's basically 2 crews that do that. Although I can see us slowly morphing my landscape division into also doing sprinkler installs. I think that they're smart enough, they're capable of. I'm pretty sure my main landscaper, the one that does the big projects, could probably do a full install sprinklers if he had to. But I think what I want to do is just train him to make sure and have the real sprinkler tech with him on a few of them if we decide to go this route, to teach him how to do it so that landscaper can start to develop kind of like a timeline or a system of when to do things, because it was a little it wasn't chaotic, but it could have been, having the landscapers scheduled and the landscaping the sprinkler tech schedule with the landscapers. Things got kind of, it was okay because I think we were, for the most part, pretty slow with sprinklers during that time. We did our first 2 installs basically the last week of September and the first week of October. So it was pretty slow for sprinklers. So that gave the install guys the sprinkler guys to install a lot of time, and they were able to spend a lot of time on those properties, thankfully. And then when they did have a job, they would go back, go do a job, and then whenever there was an issue with the landscaper, then they'd go back. So things were pretty smooth because of that. But it would have been much better if my main landscaper could also do the installations of the sprinklers. So, and the reason why I think it can be done is because my main landscaper did the trenching for the sprinkler guys, because he has that much experience. And I've talked to him about the sprinkler stuff, and he's just like, things were more set up for him. He used to work for Brightview. So, Brightview, they've got they've got tons of employees, tons of positions, and it's just like everything was set for the main person, like for the landscaper. Like basically, he was a foreman, and everything was just happening for him, and everything was put in its place. It's not like that here. So there's going to be a little learning curve. He doesn't know which sprinklers to get because he's now going to have to pick them out, kind of thing. And also the designs. Uh, we'll have to figure out how that's going to be. Just there's some things to figure out. But I think that'll be awesome if his crew can do the install sprinklers and the big time landscaping. You know what I mean? So they might work they might work well with more jobs they complete together. That's true, and that's kind of what we're doing, and we know it's working that way for sure. And I kind of like the fact that I have a sprinkler guy that likes to do installs, so we may go that route, or we may go both routes. I don't know. I just kind of like. I'm really happy with the two installs we did. I mean, they were nice installs. One of them was an old house that wanted to redo their yard. The second install was a brand new house that didn't have a yard. Those new neighborhoods you go into and it's like all brand new and a lot of them don't have yards. They just have like the dirt and no sprinklers, no nothing. So one was that, and we did a really good job. Like I'm really happy with the way it turned out. Like in my mind, it was done perfect. Like if somebody with 80 years of experience, a company with 80 years of experience did it. That's kind of how it looked. Like it looked really good. Everything was level, smooth, clean lines. Sprinklers were really good. Probably because that was the only sprinkler house with sprinklers on that block. And so the pressure was like really good every time we tested it. So we know they work. Obviously, we got videos of it, and everything's going really good. I will say, on that note, with sprinklers, we did get a complaint this year for a job we did 2 years ago. It was a big HOA. There was a lot of like interesting situations on that property. Just the pressure is massive there. Massive pressure, like too much pressure. It's already got a pressure regulator. Like it is just like insane. So we did a lot of work there. I mean, a lot of work. The bill, just so I'm not being super specific on which property I'm talking about here, it was around $15,000, right? Job. And we did it 2 years ago, and we did a great job. And we knew there were some issues, so at one point we had to replace pretty much all of some big connections because they kept breaking. And we were using commercial grade parts. But we went to like the most expensive, highest grade commercial parts so that at least we could say we did use the best products that we could for this property, right? Because the pressure was just insane. And so, and this covered, I'm just guessing because I don't remember, but like 30 properties, right? This HOA was like for 30 properties. So there was a lot of pressure. And so we did it, but we told the people in charge, they're like, hey, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do it on us. So we're not changing the price for you, even though we're like halfway through the job, even more than that, probably closer to being finished, but having to redo something all over again. I said, we're going to do it. We'll do it on us. We're going to replace these things, but we need you to agree and sign this sheet of paper that says that we're not going to be liable once it's all finished and complete, because we're using the highest grade products that we can, and we're not going to be liable for anything if you want us to complete the job, basically. And I was there to have a good discussion, like a real discussion, like, well, I'll do what, let's work this out. How can we make this work? And they agreed with that. It was great. perfect. So we did it. When we completed the job, we tested everything. The sprinkler guy tested everything with all the people in charge, signed us off on everything, even wrote us a really nice review. And then we had a few service calls, which is typical. I mean, you got 30 properties, right? I mean, dude, you're gonna have some issues here and there. And of course we're gonna fix some issues, right? We're gonna go back, and we've gone back probably, I'm just guessing, probably 20 times. You know, changing a nozzle here, something spraying, missing, fixing that, you know, just little stuff. But we went back every time. No major problems. Anyway, we didn't hear from them at all the next year. So basically, the year we finished, I think it was 22. We did it in 2022. We completed it and went back and did service calls that year. The next year was 2023, and we didn't hear from them, not once, not one time. The whole year went by, everything done, like nothing. Never went back once. In 2024, so this year, we got a call in June, might have been May, I think it was June, might have been July, June or July, one of the J months, that there's an issue with a timer. So we went back. It was their timer, so we never replaced their timer. But we recommended that we replace their timers while we were there in June. So we replaced it. And then we had a service call because something with the power went out, like something was showing an error message like a week later. So we went back, fixed that, whatever that issue was, and then have not heard from them at all until October. So just pretty much last month, I got an email from their lawyer saying, you know, hey, there's been some damage done, and we think, and it's because you guys didn't install this correctly. And I'm like, what? We haven't heard from you all year, and then this year we hear from you, and it's a timer issue, had nothing to do with anything else. So anyway, I reached out to my insurance agent and basically told her the situation and gave her all our paperwork, which actually I still have right here on my desk. Told them everything that we have, everything we had them sign, everything we signed, estimate, the job, the completed job, everything we had. I gave it to them. It was like a little book because we've been there a lot of times. And then I haven't heard anything back. Oh, the insurance company also wanted a statement from the sprinkler guys. So I had my sprinkler guy. There was two of them that were there all the time. Actually, there was three of them. One of them doesn't even live in the state anymore. I don't know where he is. I don't even want to reach out to him. I don't even care. And I told that to the insurance agent. The insurance, the actual real insurance, actually called me, and I told them the same thing. I'm like, he doesn't work here anymore, and so they're like, no big deal. You know, that happens all the time. Of course, it's been like a couple years, so no big deal. But the ones that are still there, can you just write a statement, like have them do a statement? So I mentioned it to both of them. One of them did it. The other one doesn't work here, and he said he would do it, but he hasn't, which is fine. I don't care. You know what I mean? And that's the thing too. I'm not even trying to get out of this mess. It's not even a mess to me. It doesn't even feel. It feels, dude. That's why you have insurance to deal with these things, right? So I'm not worried one way or another. You know, if the insurance pays them out, good. I don't even know what the damage is. That I asked the insurance, I said, what's the damage? They said we don't even know. It says to be determined, so we don't even know what it is. And I never got a call back from an adjuster, which usually you get one back. So I don't know what's going on. And again, I'm not trying to get out of anything. If the insurance pays, great. If they don't, because we did have an agreement that says, hey, we're going to change all these parts to the highest grade possible that known to man that we can find, you know, we're not liable for anything because we did the best we can. It's not, the work wasn't done right. It's just the pressure is so strong that it's breaking stuff. And what can we do about that, you know? Get the city to lower the pressure is what we told them. So anyway, that's kind of what's happening. But to me, it's just like a normal day. Like, hey, insurance is doing its thing. If insurance pays them, great. If it doesn't, okay. I don't know. Like, I'm letting them deal with that. A funny thing happened though. This is separate and a whole nother thing. So my Bobcat. So when my landscaper was trenching for the sprinklers on that second install, the Bobcat that we have with the trenching attachment, I guess broke. The motor on the Bobcat or the engine just stopped running. If you let it cool off, then we turn it back on. It turned on, and we were able to get it back on the trailer. So that kind of thing. As long as you turn it off for a little bit, it would overheat, and then it wouldn't work. So we'd let it cool off, and then we'd do it again, and it worked. So I took it to Bobcat because that's where I bought it, and I actually have a Bobcat dealer really close by, which I thought was cool, but now I'm not so sure. So I bought the Bobcat back in 2020. So it's 4 years. Hardly ever use it. I only use it really to load the debris into the dumpster here every day. And we've trenched maybe two. Well, we've definitely trenched at least 2 properties. I don't know if we've trenched any more. So we hardly ever use that thing. So Bobcat takes a look at it, and guess what? Guess the quote they gave me to fix it. Now, you're probably asking, well, what's wrong with it? I don't really know these kind of things. They told me, but I don't remember. I could probably find an email or something. Something about a head. I don't know. Head gasket. Does that sound right? I have no idea. But their quote to fix it was $11,000. What the hell? $11,000 to fix an MT100? Like the smallest machine you can get from Bobcat? What? I mean, that's the first time I ever really felt ripped off in this industry. That's the first time. I was just like, I thought there was a typo. So I'm like, dude, was this entered in wrong? I mean, $11,000. They're like, no, you need this, this, and that. And I'm like, you are serious? And they're like, yeah, we're serious. And I'm like, this is insanity. $11,000. He's like, yeah, it's been flipped upside down. I go, no, it hasn't. They go, dude, yes, it has. And I'm like, I would know if it was upside down. I would have had to be the one to flip it back. So I know it hasn't been flipped upside down. And he's like, well, whatever. That's the price. And I'm just like, this is insane. I'm getting it out of here. And he's like, all right, well, it's going to be $980 to get it out. I'm like, holy shit, I'm just getting ripped off here. Now, I'm kind of okay with the $900 diagnostic fee, I guess, What can I do, right? I mean, I'm just like, what the hell? So I have a friend who lives in my city. I met him because whatever. He fixes a lot of stuff. He's the one that built my trailers for my custom mobeds. And that's how I met him. So that's how I met him. And every time I've gone to his house, he always has like an MT100 that he's working on, like different ones. Like they bring them to him. Places that rent MT100s, or what's that smaller one they used to make before the 100 was like the 85, the MT85, something like that. There's always those machines. So he fixes those all the time. And I should have thought to take it to him first. But wouldn't you think to take it to Bobcat? I mean, it's only 4 years. It's only a machine that's 4 years old. I'm still paying on it. Hardly no interest, so it's really awesome. But I'm still making payments on it. It's from Bobcat. Bobcat's right there. So I thought I'd take it to them. And they're trying to rip me off. So then once I got it out, I was like, well, I'll just take it to my buddy here. And so I basically called him and I told him what they're doing. I said, dude, this is insane. They want a ridiculous amount of money to fix this thing. He's like, dude, bring it over to me. I'll fix it. So I said, yeah, couldn't hurt. So I took it to him. He calls me back like 2 days later, and he's like, there's a part I'm gonna need. It's $280 or $250. Do you approve me to get it? I said, yes, please get it. He's like, all right. And I go, so what are you thinking? He goes, dude, I can't tell you for sure, but I think these two things need to be replaced. But he goes, your machine's like brand new. And I go, yeah, it is brand new. He's like, dude, it's like brand new. And then he tells me, even if this machine was flipped upside down, it still wouldn't be, you could still make Bobcats work, even if they're flipped upside down. He said that he's had 2 upside down Bob MT100s delivered to him, and they stayed upside down till the next day. So he's like, and he still got them to work. So he's like, it's not an issue if they're upside down. Like, you don't want to do that, but if you had to, it's fine. So anyway, so he got the part. About a week later, he calls me. And so it took about a week, but only because he's busy with other stuff, you know what I mean? But he got mine done, and it's here at my shop now. I haven't turned it on, but he dropped it off and brought it here. And he says it's running perfectly, and it was $1,100. It was $1,150. In fact, it was $1,140, but I had $1,150. I gave it to him, and he's like, "Oh, you gave me $10 too much." And I go, "Well, consider that a tip." So anyway, I'm kind of interested to see how good it works and how it sounds. I was going to wait till it warms up a little bit. It's getting kind of cold in the mornings here because I've got some debris that needs to be put away. The only problem is I don't really have a truck to move the dump trailers right now because we've got some guys out right now doing sprinkler winterizations. And so that's going pretty good, but believe it or not, we have less than we did last year. We did less than we did last year, but we were still pretty busy because remember we were doing those installs. We actually timed it really well when we started doing blowouts. Normally we basically start October 1st and we go. This year we kind of delayed the start date, obviously because we had an install, but we also had another tech that could have done them. But once you start doing winterizations, people start canceling. People start dropping off like flies. It's kind of like turning off a light switch at their house. It's like they're done. And I didn't want customers to start canceling because, you know, we got a lot of workers that still like can work. So we did the installs, and then we started doing the blowouts. And the weather was still good. The weather was still really nice. It was like in the 70s almost all of October. Maybe not all of it. Like the last week it started to get a lot colder. But anyway, we timed it really good. We at this point we pretty much finished all the residentials and everything was fine. We're now doing the commercial stuff, which we probably should have did in between, but we had some issues we need to work out with scheduling. Head gasket. We're looking into getting a Ditch Witch. We're doing a lot of sod now. Ditch Witch are 35K new. They make them here in Oklahoma. That's awesome. Yeah, I actually was looking for a Ditch Witch when I first was thinking about getting my Bobcat. And I told my local dealer that I asked him, do you sell those Ditch Witches? They said, no, you get those from, wherever you get them. But they don't sell those. It's too big of equipment for them. And so when I went looking into it, I saw that Bobcat had basically what I wanted at like 2% interest or even like 1.5% interest. The interest was like nothing. It could have even been like 0.5. I mean, it's something crazy, and I probably have it written down somewhere. So I just called Bobcat, and it turns out they were in the same city that I was in. I was like, holy crap. They're like, yeah, this is kind of weird. Like, you live here too. So anyway, that's why I got that. And I went crazy with attachments, bro. I went nuts. I got a stump grinding attachment. I got a trencher. attachment. I got 2 buckets, so it comes with one, I guess. It's possible it doesn't even come with one. You just got to pay for the one it comes with, right? But I got the one that supposedly it came with, and then I got a bigger bucket that I had them made them find for me. They were like, no, we don't really have a bigger bucket. I'm like, well, I need one, or I'm not getting this without a bigger bucket. So they got me a bigger bucket. It's awesome. And then I've got a landscape leveler, which we've never used. Okay, it's maybe we've used it in the yard, but for the most part, that was probably a waste of money. And it turns out, I'm just telling you this, Walter, because it could help you in your decision making. But the MT100, and you know they probably make a Ditch Witch similar size, so I'm just letting you know. The MT100 is very weak for like the stump grinder. It's also weak for trenching. Like it's just a weak machine, but it's great for debris loading, like to load the grass clippings and all the leaves and all the debris and branches into a trailer every morning. It's perfect for that. It's small, it's not loud. But as far as like using it to like trench, I think it'd be better off. I will be better. So first of all, we're better off just renting one every time we need an install. It would have been nice if we could use this Bobcat. I can't lie, it would have been nice. Because really, it's pretty much the same size as a standalone trencher. I mean, you know, it's a standalone trencher is obviously smaller, but you know what I'm saying. It's still kind of small. You can pretty much use the same size trailers for both. So it would have been nice since we have the Bobcat, that would save us, you know, $300 a day if we, you know, whenever we had to do a trenching. But you know, we just add that to the invoice and it's fine. You know what I mean? So I think that'll be not my next thing, but someday I want to get a standalone trencher. I think we could use that, and also a standalone stump grinder, but we don't really do much of that, so I don't know how serious I am about that one. But adding them as attachments, I think, was a waste of money. I believe my stump grinding attachment was like $9,000, and my trencher was like $8,000, or vice versa, one of the two. And I feel like I shouldn't have done that. You know, I'm not quite sure how much I actually owe on my Bobcat right now. I should look into that. I want to say I owe 15, and if that was the case, I probably would have already had my Bobcat paid off. You know, but on that note, I did tell Jose to maybe let's sell those attachments, and he was like, "Oh, damn, okay." Let's see. I know what you mean about canceling. We just did our last mow last week. Yeah, I know. People, like when you turn the water off, people just go, all right, I'm done. The grass stopped growing. No, it doesn't. It still grows. You know, I wish people would know that. I wish they knew that when we turn the water off, the grass is still going to grow for like 3 weeks. You know, but whatever. I know what you mean. We are always renting the auger, Harley rake, and for folks. Oh, and forks. Oh yeah, have a fork, which is awesome. That's a great buy. That was a great buy. We use that all the time. We use the fork lift all the time. Yeah, I can't hold too much weight. The skid Ditch Witch, we were looking the 900 because the 800 is smaller for sod. Oh wow, it's really expensive for attachments. But y'all's cost of living is higher up there. Yeah, for sure. But this was like website stuff. You know, I got these prices on the website. I don't think they cared where the hell we lived. You know what I mean? Oh shit. I hit something. It's getting dark in here. There we go. Oh man. So this business, man, it could stress you the hell out, or it could make you the happiest person. You know what I mean? The days that you're just in between and you're just happy, like no problems, are very limited, man. You should take advantage of those. But I don't know if I said this on my last video when I was talking about owning the shop now. Because of all the stress that I dealt with that whole thing, I was threatened to get kicked out. We had to fight it with lawyers. We were threatened to go to court. We're getting evicted. I mean, you name it, I was going through it. And on top of that, then trying to buy it. So after that, we try to buy the place, and that's pretty stressful because I now have a short commitment time where if I don't buy this thing, I can get kicked out, and I can't do anything about that one because I agreed to that. But anyway, just hoping that the bank will approve me and that I have everything I need to get approved, even after they kind of were in the process, the application process. There's still anything could go wrong, like nothing is done until it's signed and closed. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like just so stressed every day. And all this started in November of last year, and it's November now, so it's been a year. But it started to get really bad in February. So November was when I got the first initial call that told me, hey, there's going to be some changes here. Didn't really know what that meant. I know it could be bad, but also, sometimes I'm really like just a glass half full type of person. So I don't really think of the negative stuff right away. And I probably should, So November, I just kind of like brushed it off like, okay, it's out of my control. No big deal. December, January, same thing. February, I get the phone call from the possible new owner who's like, so when you getting out? And that's when it all started getting serious, February. So I'm looking at almost a year of this. And I got it. So when I finally sat down at the bank and closed with the title company, and then I went home and slept that night, I slept through the whole night, bros. I never sleep through the night. And I've been doing that every day since. And I did that on the 31st. So basically on the 1st of November, I had the best sleep I had in a whole year. And every day since that, including today, I sleep through my alarm, which is fine, like great, right? I'm not going to be late. Nobody is going to get me in trouble for being late. And I sleep through my alarm. Like I won't sleep through it. I'll turn it off, and then I'll just lay my head down and go back to sleep. It's crazy. I don't even go in the bathroom at night anymore in the middle of the night. I just sleep. It's crazy. And it's because I'm guessing how stressed out I was all year. And was it last year, 2023 was my worst year ever. So I wasn't sleeping that year either. So it's like all this weight got lifted off of me, and I'm sleeping like a baby now. It's crazy. I didn't even know I had an issue. I didn't even know I had a sleep problem. So, yeah, dude, I don't know. I spent like, Walter says, I spent like $20,000 on rentals. I could have paid half of it off already. Yeah, that's how it is, man. That's how it is. So right now, dude, Walter, check this out. I've been working with a tax, like the best tax person I've ever met in my life. And I've been dealing with tax people since like 2014. Like serious, right? That was, I believe in 2013 was the year that I ended up having to pay the IRS so much money. It was crazy. And I didn't even make that much. That year, I didn't even make hardly anything, but I did my own taxes. And then I owed like $15,000, which back then was just like, it's probably equivalent to what $100,000 is to me now. I was just like, holy crap, how am I going to pay this? And so I did it, but that taught me that I need tax accountants to do my taxes. You know what I mean? And I probably should have got my taxes amended. I should have just did a whole bunch of stuff, but whatever. The past is the past. I'm moving on. But I'm working with a great tax person, and it's from Cycle CPA. Now, I, I'm telling you, I've had bookkeepers, I've had accountants. They're the best, hands down. And I've had bookkeepers and accountants since 2014, and these guys are the best. That it's hard to explain, but it's like they're the real deal. And so my tax accountant, I only talk to her once every 3 months, but she reads my books, she reads my numbers like a novel, bro. Like she will, when she talks to me, she knows everything I did in business. Like she just, it's like she was here the whole time. It's really hard to explain, but she'll look at something and go, "Hey, I noticed this, and what is that about? Like, what is that?" And I'm like, "No, I know that was something we tried. It's really expensive, so we're not going to do it anymore. That was a total mistake." She goes, "Okay, I was going to say like you should not be doing that." All from looking at my numbers. Like it's crazy. It's crazy good. Thankfully, I will give myself and my team here at the office a lot of credit that we can see when we're not spending money efficiently. But if we weren't and we just had to basically rely on my accountant, she would guide us in the right direction. I'm telling you, that's how good she is. And one of the things, I know I'm going to go off topic here, but first I'll read Walter's thing. My best customer is my accountant, tax person. She took off like 20K and passed it off. So I give her really good ideas on work. That's great, dude. Yeah, that's awesome. And maybe you do trade work. That's even better. You know what I mean? Like, that's even better. I have to pay them, and I've been with them now for 3 or 4 years, and the price has gone up every year. So now it's getting kind of pricey. But you know what? It's so worth it. I can go into detail on all the money they saved me, and hopefully it would justify what I'm paying. But it's so worth it, guys. I'm not joking. I'm not. This wasn't meant to like give them a blazing endorsement, but I'm talking about my taxes or that stuff, and it's so worth it. So I forgot where I was going with this, but let's see. We upgraded and spent a bunch of money on a great CPA. Eden, what's up, man? Well worth the extra cost for sure. Like one of the things I didn't notice. So I don't know if my CPA helped me get this shop, but knowing that I'm on the right track, and especially with taxes, I think it's possible that if I look at it the tax route, she got me aligned. I had a tax hairball of a mess, guys. I had a tax hairball of a mess. And I told her, I'm trying to buy the shop. I got these tax issues, and I'm gonna have tax issues, and I'm paying on tax issues. All right. So I've got this big mess. I need but I need to buy the shop. Can you help me figure this out? And she did, guys. I won't go into detail on how it is, because I'm sure it's different for everybody. But she basically got me on a schedule plan that I followed, and I did it. And again, that took weight off my shoulder. But what I was going to say was, and I'm changing gears here, but when I met Tommy Mello, I know I talk about Tommy Mello all the time. When I met him in Seattle, and we hung out for like 4 or 5 hours at the bar, because it was the day before he was speaking and it was the day before the conference started. So he was actually doing business. He was talking to his assistant. He was talking to me. There was so much information coming at me. But one of the things he said was, "You need to buy your shop." He goes, "Do you own or rent right now?" I said, I rent. He goes, that's the first thing you need to focus on is buy your shop. And I was like, yeah, well, that would be nice. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, I got so many problems. I can't buy my freaking shop. You know what I mean? But I always was like, man, there's something there of all the stuff. I mean, I was talking to him for like 5 hours. And the bottom line was, he was like, you need to buy your shop. Out of all the advice that he could have given me, that was his final, basically, big thing. Buy your shop. And I did. Eventually, it wasn't because of his advice. I wish I would have listened to him and done it a year. So I met him at the beginning of 23, and that was my worst year ever. So I don't even know if I could have bought the shop, be honest with you. But I wish I would have listened to him and try to get my money right and my finances right and my expenses right so that I could buy it. It would have been a lot smoother process if that would have happened. And maybe I could have bought more of the chunk of the block that the owner was selling instead of just my property. But anyway, whatever, it got done. But the second advice that Tommy Mello always gives, like on his podcasts and stuff, is to get what do you call those people? A CPA? No, not a CPA. Like one of those money people, CFO. He says get a CFO, and he said that you can get a CFO. What do you call it? Like the micro CPO, where you're only paying them for like 10 hours a month or something like that, instead of like full time. And that's something that's one of the things I want to do, because that's his big advice that he's usually giving on his podcasts and stuff. And I bet you, if I were to do that, or if I bet there's a reason why he says that to everybody all the time. And he, you know what I mean? Like, so that's my next thing. Like, because if buying the shop really is making a huge difference, I mean, we're not going to get kicked out of here. Our rents aren't going to go up forever, until we pay this thing. Our rent's not going to go off, and eventually we will pay this off, and then we won't even have rent. I mean, what the heck? That's just insane. So it's gonna make our business better. So I bet having a CFO, even, what do you call it, micro scheduling a CFO, would be, it's got to do something. Let me see. Man, there's been a lot of stuff. Yeah, it's worth the peace of mind. I talk about him too. I know now why you talk about him. He was super down to earth. He totally is. It's so crazy how down to earth he is. I asked him if I can do in-person ride with his best sales guy. Oh, and I bet you, like, that'll happen. I bet it'll happen. We also got a great financial advisor. This is from Eden. Helped us set business and retirement goals with proper advice. That's awesome. And Walter, I love the event in Oklahoma City. Yeah, that's one of the things. I want to go to one of his events. And I'm sure you get a lot of information out of his events. And I'm sure he also probably tries to get you into his Freedom Academy, which is probably one of the ways I wouldn't be surprised if that's how you get to the events. But I don't know if I need to join anything anymore. I will say I do miss my mastermind group that I was in. I do miss that. And it's not really for the advice or anything I learned, although you do learn a lot, especially leadership education for your team, for yourself. And I like that. I love that. But more than anything, I just miss the people. Like, I had some really good friends that I can still talk to. I know I can still call right now. In fact, I called a couple when I got the shop. I texted 3 to 5 really close friends from that group to let them know that I got it, because I canceled the group because the bank was kind of, they were kind of not happy with how much I was paying every month for that, and that was an expense that I could get rid of. Plus the travel fees that come along with all that. I mean, I think I spent $20,000 on all my trips last year, um, and with the mastermind group. So obviously you don't need to do the trips, that kind of stuff. And when I mean trips, I mean like the food I spent while I was there, anything I bought while I was there, airplane, hotel, all that stuff. Which you don't have to go that nuts, you know what I mean, when you go to those conferences, but I just do. So I did save a lot of money, but I do miss those things. But what I'm getting at is I don't know if I need to join those things anymore. I feel like I want to again at some point, but right now I'm just going to enjoy my cost to be low. But I got so much education this year between the banks, because at one point the bank came into my shop and basically was here for 2 days, not the whole 2 days from morning to night. They were here like for a few hours for 2 days, getting to know a lot of stuff. They wanted to make sure that we were efficient and saving money and like doing the best, running a good business. And they were telling me about all the stuff that they're looking for, and that helped me make some changes. So I got more education from the bank on those 2 days because there was literally a gun to my head that I need to get out of here or buy this place. So I was like really paying attention to what's happening, what people need, what the bank needs. And so I was really paying attention to that. And so I feel like I learned more from that experience and from 2023, such a bad year for me, on how to go about things in the new year, 2024, which was basically the company needs to go first, right? So company first, then we pay everybody as much as we can, but it can't be pay everybody as much as we can and let's hope the business survives. No, you got to have your business first, make sure that is strong, prosperous. Then you pay everybody as much as you can because you have a vehicle that can do that for you guys. And that's one of the things I learned from 2023 to 2024, and I implemented that pretty much right away because we had the worst year financially. Our revenue was the highest it's ever been in 2023. It was 2.2, but the profits was like in the negatives. We had months where we did like $380,000 in one month. Maybe even like 400, a little north of 400. I can't even remember now. I could actually look up. I could actually look that up. So I'll go to like, what's a busy month? June, maybe July. So I'll look at July of 2023, 250K. I thought we did better than that. See, June, 316. May 23, 324. April, 178. So start going down. Okay, so I guess I was wrong. The peak so far is 324,000. I'm going to try August. 257. Okay. So 315 was the most. So I was off. Sorry about that. 325, I mean. 324. And our labor, so I have the numbers right here. So labor for that month was 66%. On $324,000, dude. That's insanity. That's $212,000. Our fuel was 9,500. Reoccurring bills. This is one of the things that I just got passionate about lowering. So that year, our reoccurring bills, that's lights, you know what I'm saying? Like anything that's reoccurring that you can't fix, you can't change the price no matter what. Utilities, auto insurance, all the subscription to all the website stuff, like Service Autopilot, Service Titan, you name it. Oh, you know what? Merchant fees is in here, so that's almost 5,400 for that month. The phone service, $1,400. So if you subtract 5 from 21, so you're looking at 16,000. That's pretty high. That's pretty high. So looking at it this month, well, let's look at October of 2024. My reoccurring bills are 14,000. So they're less now. And there's some things on here that I would like to take off. I don't know if I need GPS, but it is kind of, I've asked some of the managers and they actually think we do need that. Stuff like that, but there's some stuff that we could still take off. And that's what I'm all about right now, just taking off as much expenses as possible. That's what I want to do. He told me he would look into it. He didn't really try to push it. Well, you know what? His guys, I bet you if you said you'd like to do a shop tour at his place, he'd be like, done, let's go. But for somebody to make money while they're riding with somebody that probably don't like it, I bet you, I'm just guessing, there's probably just a little number of guys on his team that are okay with having somebody come do ride-alongs. But the majority of people probably I'm just guessing, don't like ride-alongs, but maybe they do. I don't know. Maybe you could offer to pay, one of the driver. You know what I'm saying? I bet that would, somebody go, yeah, I'll volunteer for that. But just a thought, what do I know? What I loved about it was the mindset. I know. I did ask him. I said, because in my mind, like, he's one of those people that's like, oh yeah, let's do it. Like, whatever crazy idea he has, he probably just, like, when he feels like he wants to do it, he just does it. And sometimes I have a really good idea. Like, let's say I want to make a food truck. Let's say I want to do a food truck. I don't just do it, Like, so he's definitely a quick start type of person, and I'm not. But I was asking him, like, and I don't mean like a food truck. I don't think he does a food truck, but what I mean, I'm sure he does. He has ideas, right? Like where he pays his people like $1,000 for every referral they bring in. Like, he had to get that going. He had to get that started at some point. He was like, I got this idea. We're gonna give a referral bonus of $1,000, and we're gonna make this big old check, and then we're gonna post it online, and we're gonna show that everybody, you can actually make a lot of money just referring people here. You know what I mean? And he just did it. He just does it, right? It's like, I gotta think things through, and that's my problem. So I asked him, I go, how do you know when to just do something? When you just do it. Now, I don't remember his exact answer, but I go, is it that you have to know your numbers so good that that's what helps drives your decisions? And he said, no, other people know my numbers better than me. I just know what my team needs and my team wants. So I just love his mindset. You know what I mean? Like, I just love it. Now, I don't really remember what his answer was to that, but I definitely remember asking. Because remember, I was with him for a while, and it was just like, he was showing me videos that he wanted me to critique. He was showing me, we were doing we were talking about everything. And so I just, like, there's so much information. There's just a couple of things that I remember. And one of the things was, I remember asking him, like, how does somebody think like you? Like, and I don't remember his answer, to be honest with you. What I loved about it was his mindset. Met some cool people there. We still talk. Met some good, cool people there. Maybe you can make a video on those requirements from the bank. Yeah, that's true. I always say take care of the business and it will take care of you. It's so true. But sometimes we get caught in like with loyalty with some employees, right? Like you'll have a great employee who's with you and maybe he's thinking about leaving, but you kind of need him still. You're like, hey, how about you stay? This is how much we'll pay you, and this will be your new like job description of basically supervising. Next thing you know, like you're paying this person. I'm just throwing out a number. 2,500 bucks a week, maybe even $2,900 a week, and you don't notice it right away, but slowly that kind of thing is hurting you. It's hurting your business, and you don't even know it. So what you're doing at that moment is like putting paying people higher without really understanding if your business can afford it without getting hurt. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about, because obviously I would love my employees to make a ton of money. And so, and I have a system on how to pay my managers. They're at the top here with me, so I've got to be able to like have something reasonable that they believe is the way it is, to how they're going to make more money. You can't really have a strong high team who doesn't really know how they're going to get paid. Like, I don't think they're going to stick around. You know what I mean? um if your business was like super, kind of like got a great reputation, it's known, and you're doing great revenue wise, but you're not really sure how to pay your awesome team that got you to $2 to $3 million in revenue, and one of those person walked over here and said, hey, I work for this company, they're at 3 million, I helped get it there, and this is all the skills and stuff I do, this is what I do for them, but I'm making 20 bucks an hour. um I don't know, I just feel like, it's I could be making more. Well, I would probably take that person from you. You know what I mean? Um, so you got to take care of your people, and I don't want my people leaving me either, going somewhere else, which can totally happen. So I have in my opinion, like a way that they know they're getting taken care of, and that is putting basically them in charge of how much they're going to make. Um, I have some requirements. I need $20,000 in profit, or 20%, not 20,000, 20% profit, at least. I need to make a check every single week, just like everybody else. Meaning, if I say, "Hey, don't pay me this week because we're running low on money or whatever," well then don't you dare ask me for a raise ever until we get that fixed, right? And so 20% profit. Um, I need to get a paycheck every single week, every week, just like everybody else. And you need to do all your job description and make sure your team, the divisions that you manage or whatever are operating good, are growing. So you're growing your division. You do that, and the general manager has the ability to basically tell me and the So is it still muted? Okay. How about now? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? No? So you can't hear me? All right, guys. Well, I may have to end it here. Sorry about that. Let me just ask Walter real quick. Can you hear me now? Is it making sound or no? Let's see. There's usually an issue all the time every time you answer the phone. So, all right, guys. Peace out. Appreciate you. Talk to you later.